Hey, good morning, and thanks for waking up with me. So today I've got an extra long commute this morning. It's 3.5 hours just to get to the job, and I've had to wait for a while to have enough daylight in my face to do the video. Now I'm realizing I may have waited just a little too long because that sun is really bright, but it'll go in and out. So I apologize for the blowout on the light exposure. So while I was driving and waiting for the sun to come out, I was listening to some conversations on other channels on YouTube, and sometimes I like to do that just for motivation or to inspire some thoughts, things I want to talk to you about. To be in full disclosure, I kind of had a habit of self-improvement or motivational things or something like that flavor for many years. So it's YouTube is an excellent source for that, and it's also part of the reason why I feel like I have some things to share with you, to give you my spin on things, and hopefully it'll be the same thing that I've found from other people, and that is you put your own spin on it. You'll take some things that I have to say, and some you'll use, and some you'll feel like they just don't fit, and you'll throw them away, and whichever one you do is fine. Hopefully I've got something productive for you to say, even if it's just for you to decide that that's something you don't want to do in your life. That's fine too. So as I'm driving along here, it occurred to me that, in reality, life in itself is a lot like driving, especially if you're trying to make the best of it. I think the best course of plan is to kind of have an idea of where you're going, every day when you get up to go get there. And I also think that it's most beneficial to spend more time focused on looking forward where you're going and less time looking back. And I bring that up because I know some people spend an awful lot of time looking back. They get caught up in the past, they get caught up in the things that have happened to them, and some of the injustices that happened to them, and the tragedies that they've had in their life, whether it was personal illness or that of a family member, or struggles with finances, or their circumstances, or the wrong life partner, spouse, whatever the circumstance was. We all have adversities throughout our lives, and hopefully the good times outweigh the bad times. But I think a lot of that is a matter of perspective, to be honest with you. There are people who are ill, gravely ill, who still find things in life to enjoy and reflect on, and to cherish and have a good time about it, and can smile and maybe even laugh, in the middle of feeling really bad. And then there are others who are blessed with what many of us would consider to be ideal lives. They've got money, they've got security, they have a nice house, they have a nice car, they have a beautiful spouse, and they have the admiration of others, and yet they're miserable. Several years ago, a good friend of mine used to take his time during the Christmas holidays, and he would organize through various connections of his for party decorations to be donated. And a couple times I helped him, where we would put on a Christmas party at the Children's Hospital in Los Angeles, which was an amazing experience. And to see those children, many of which were extremely ill, that's why they were there, obviously, and knowing that some of them just simply may not see the next Christmas, and yet the joy and the happiness, and the chance to enjoy, to feel good about something was so common for so many. And unfortunately, some were just simply too ill, and they were there because the nurses or their parents or somebody near and dear to them brought them down to be at the party, but they struggled with it. And it's a small play in a way, if you think about it, of showing enjoying how life is in itself. Just watching the expressions of these children. Last year, my parents lost their significant others within a week or two of each other. My mother lost her husband, my stepfather, of just under 50 years. And my father lost the woman that he'd been with for, I'm not sure exactly how long, but somewhere around a decade. And although the time was much less with her, she was absolutely important to him and important to his life. And it was very hard for both my parents, from their own perspectives, as to losing those people. And a year later, I listen to the things they have to say and look upon their lives, watching how they're moving forward on their own. They're both at a point in life where they're really not interested in finding someone else to replace the one they lost. The one they lost is just too important, and I'm not saying never, but there's a very high chance that they just simply won't ever find anyone to replace them because of the value that person held within their life. It's not to say, though, that they're spending their lives looking back, and it's not to say that looking back is not a bad thing. We look back for a lot of reasons. As I look at my rearview mirror, considering how fast I'm driving right now, I'm looking to make sure that no one's coming after me for being a little bit over the speed limit. I'm also making sure that there's not a large truck going to run over me, because maybe I'll drop my speed a little bit as I'm talking to you. And the same thing in life, right? That we look back behind us for lessons learned, to make sure that something bad isn't going to run up behind us and hit us in the back of the head and take us out, or that we're not going to forget about the things that happened in the past that were good. The scenery behind me is often beautiful, and I can only see little bits of it in the mirror, but it's kind of like a memory in a way, isn't it? Where we remember just the small parts of it, the parts that stood out, the things that we clearly saw. And at the same time, I'm wondering, wow, I didn't notice that when I went by. How many times has that been the case in life, where I didn't notice something as I went by? I didn't see it until it's behind me. I didn't realize that I had a really good friend in someone until I lost them. Or maybe I knew they were a good friend, but I didn't always take the time to tell them that. I didn't always have the opportunity or make the opportunity to share with them how I felt. And I'm at that point in my life, like so many of us, where that's increasingly important to me. But to be honest, it's important to all of us, right? I mean, I remember feeling that way often when I was young, when I was a child, of letting my parents know that I cared about them, or my new friend in school, let them know that I cared about them. Many of us passed around little paper notes, to tell someone that we liked them. And do you like me? Yes or no? I don't know if kids still do that, but in my mind they do. Life was simpler then. It gets more complicated as we get older. We go through life experiences, and how we come through them is what dictates how we move forward, and how fast I drive, and how much I pay attention, or how careless I am, or am I thoughtful about the other drivers around me, the people that I'll never meet, that I'll never know, but am I thoughtful about them? Am I just cutting them off because I don't care, and it's my car and I'm in front, and and I'm more aggressive than they are, and I'll do what I want? Or am I going to try and be a good citizen, a good person, a good traveler on this road in life? So many things to think about as we move through things. There's a million things to think about all at the same time and all at once. And how we take that on, the perspective that we take about that, is it daunting? I know friends who hate driving. They just hate it. You know, they don't like being out here. They don't like the other aggressive drivers. Some of those aggressive drivers are possibly me, and yet I think I'm a rather courteous driver. I know I drive fast. I drive quick. I get to where I'm going because I frequently, need to get there. I'm anxious to do what I want to do and to make that happen. And so maybe I'm moving more quickly than they are. And they may perceive that as I'm being aggressive or I'm being an a-hole about it. And that's not my intention. But maybe that's what I portray as I go flying past them. And it's the same thing in life, right? As we move through our perspective and how we view things as they happen. Are people just simply trying to get on with their lives and make the best of it and go do something productive while we're being idle and casual and relaxing a little bit? Maybe we're enjoying the drive, or maybe we're just sleepy. Maybe we're just not paying attention. Maybe we're just numb and going through the motions and not really looking around and not realizing that it's not that they're being aggressive and going around us. It's that we're being unconscious and we're in the way. And there are lots of people going around us because we're not thinking, we're not awake, we're not paying attention to all the things that are going on around us, the beauty and the negativity and all of it, because there's so many things around us all at the same time, and it gets a little overwhelming for some people. And some of us adapt to it more easily than others, but not all of us. Somewhere in the middle of all that is balance or chaos. And even in chaos, there's peace, if you can find it, if you choose to find it. So, today's thought's a little random, because it's not the subject that I thought I was going to speak on. It's one that came up while I was driving today. But I hope it gives you something to think about. Something to take inventory in your own life. As you're going through life, have you thought about where you're going? Do you have a specific plan? Do you know where you're going? Or are you just driving north? And you'll get there when you get there. Do you have intention? Do you have purpose? Do you have a reason to be out here amongst all this going on around you at all times? Or is it overwhelming? Is it daunting? And if it is, do you need to pull over for a minute? Pull over at a rest stop, take inventory, gather your thoughts, gather your composure, think more clearly about where you're going or what's happening around you. And did you come prepared? Do you have enough gas? Is your vehicle been serviced well? The tires reliable, the brakes reliable. Are those things done? Just like in life. Did you have breakfast before you left today? Did you just run out the door and just and you're taking your chances for what happens? There's lots of things to think about. There's lots of ways of comparing our life as we go through it. How we treat ourselves and how we treat others, I believe. And if you're not treating yourself with good intentions, you may not be treating those around you with good intentions. What are your intentions? Why are you living your life? What are you doing? Well, I hope you're waking up, because I think I am. That's it for today. If you like what I'm saying, if you find it interesting, it gives you something to think about, please subscribe to the channel, hit like or dislike, whatever you like, whatever feels correct. Feel free to give me your comments. I definitely look forward to comments. Seems like most of the comments I get on my videos are through personal text messages, because it's a new channel and I have very few subscribers, so a big part of my viewing audience, I guess probably all of my viewing audience for today, as of this recording, is our personal friends. But so that's fine too. You can post it on my Facebook page, or you can send it to my personal text, whatever works. But comments here in the video to share with others is always welcome. So I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. You guys have a good day. Thanks.